Some disappointing news out of Korea this past week. The Korean car blog is reporting that Hyundai and Genesis are shutting down production of the Genesis GV60 for the next 2 months. So if you are shopping for one of these cars or are interested in finding out what's going on, then stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's the Ioniq guy. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Corbin. I cover all things Hyundai, Kia, Genesis, EV related. So like I said, the Korean car blog is reporting that Genesis is shutting down production of the GV60 in Korea at their Ulsan plant through the end of January of 2024. And what they're reporting is demand has just significantly decreased, and apparently in Korea, subsidies are coming to an end for EVs. An official from Hyundai says if there were substantial overseas sales, we would continue production regardless of the depletion of domestic subsidies. However, in these circumstances, suspending production temporarily is more efficient than continuing production. So when looking at sales numbers for the GV60 as well as the electrified GV70 as well as the electrified G80, the Korean car blog reports that sales from January to October of this year amounted to 3,052 units, and that number is highly above the electrified GV70 at 2,037 units and the electrified G80 at 933 units. So these are just Peasly numbers in comparison to at least the Ioniq 5 and the EV6. Here in the US so far this year, including November sales numbers, the Ioniq 5 has sold almost 31,000 units. And the Kia EV6 is sitting at about half of the Ioniq 5 at 17,630 units. So there's definitely strong demand for small electric SUVs from Hyundai in the US. But what I find interesting is that for 2024, Genesis was releasing a cheaper version of the GV60, and it was going to start at about $52,000 with smaller wheels, rear-wheel drive, and because of that, bigger range figures. So about the same price as an SEL all-wheel drive Ioniq 5. And the GV60 is going to be light years above Ioniq 5 in terms of interior quality. So this is rather unfortunate. I'm sad to see this because I did test drive a GV60 for a week a couple months ago. I'm still working on that review video. Sorry it's taking so long. These videos take a long time to put together, but I really like driving that car. It is a very fun car to drive, very comfortable, very plush, just a step above the Ioniq 5 in many areas. So if you were shopping for one of these cars or are interested in getting one, should you be worried? And honestly, I don't think you should be. If I go on the evfinder.com right now and narrow the search results for a GV60, be it a 2023 or a 2024 in my area, there are still a lot of GV60s sitting on lots. So they just don't seem to be selling. And if you go to Genesis's website, they are not deeply discounting these cars the way that Hyundai and Kia are discounting the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6, and the EV6. So I'm not going to tell you if you're in the market for one to go out and rush and buy one. The number that are still on dealers' lots are probably not going to sell through in the next 2 months. But that's pure speculation. I could be wrong. And in Kia EV9 news, holy cow, this vehicle is really struggling in their home market of Korea. Again, the Korean car blog is reporting that price cuts on the Kia EV9 are approaching 30% in Korea. Think about that, 30%. That is a big discount to try and move these vehicles. And as one would expect, you've got a lot of pissed off early adopters of the EV9 over there. These owners feel cheated, their cars have depreciated like a rock, but as an early adopter, that's part of the risk that you take. So because new cars have dropped in price so significantly, people who have tried selling their relatively new EV9s are completely upside down. And they're also reporting now that you can go buy a brand new EV9 cheaper than a used EV9 in Korea. So that's really not a good look for Kia. I don't know what they were thinking with this vehicle. It is very expensive. And I am kind of questioning what demand is going to look like here in the United States, especially considering I put down a reservation for one when that went live last month and immediately was told by the dealership that I selected, oh, 10% over MSRP. And I said, cancel my reservation. I am in no way going to give you guys an extra 10% over MSRP for a vehicle that's going to likely be discounted in a few months. So even though when Kia launched the EV9 in the US, they said, we're so proud that we can offer the car at this competitive price, I still don't think it's going to be cheap enough to really make a big dent in the segment. In China right now, the smaller Kia EV5 just launched, which is made there, uses batteries made in China, and that car starts in the low $20,000 area for a decently sized small SUV. Now I recognize that in China they have to keep the prices of these cars very low to stay competitive, but obviously it can be done. So why are all these other markets getting super expensive vehicles that people just aren't interested in? I totally understand Tesla's approach, how they started with the Roadster and then moved on to the S and X, their slightly cheaper version of an electric vehicle, and then they moved to the mass market with the Model 3 and the Model Y now being the best-selling car on planet Earth. But for an already established company with tons of money, I just feel like that all these cars, especially now in the landscape with Tesla cutting prices, are just relatively overpriced. But I will be getting one probably early spring next year. I already talked to the press fleet manager and they said they're going to get me on the list to get one. So I'm really looking forward to testing one out. I can tell you right now, I will not be buying one at over MSRP. So if prices do come down, if they do offer big discounts, we'll see. Could be something I'd be interested in next year. The EV9 is on sale in Europe now, so they're a little bit ahead of us, so we should kind of start seeing what those sales numbers look like in other markets outside of Korea, just to kind of get a sense of where things are going. But anyway, guys, just a couple quick news stories for you today. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Check out my store if you're looking for some Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, or Genesis GV60 accessories. I've got 2 Christmas ornaments, and I've got a new Ioniq 6 wheel magnet. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Are you a new or existing owner of a Hyundai Ioniq 5? Then check out my store because I got a bunch of cool new stuff to show you. So obviously you got the OG magnetic eyewear holder, but I've also got a new magnet shaped like the Ioniq 5 wheel. Do you like big 40-ounce water bottles or tiny little cans? Well, I've got both. This one shrinks your cup holder, while this one enlarges it. I've also got some for the rear seat. I've also got a keychain that resembles the charging indicator in the charge port, and if you don't even want to see this charge port indicator when you're charging at night, you can go ahead and cover it up with this little guy. These LEDs flash very bright at night, so you might not want people coming over and looking at them, and when you're done, thanks to these 2 little nubs, you can go ahead and store it right in your charge port. I design and 3D print these all myself, and every single sale goes towards the channel and helping me grow it a little bit more. So you can purchase any of these products from the links in the descriptions. If you're international, please use my Etsy store. If you're in the US, you can go to my website, ioniqguy.com. You can also purchase them right here without leaving YouTube from the store on my channel page. And if you have any custom requests, shoot me a message because I'm always open to trying something new. So I appreciate you checking them out and I hope you like them.